guys, my name is Shelly Grimm and welcome back to my channel. We are in a little bit more of a spooky setting for Halloween, obviously. And this video is going to be one of two parts. It is about, so I went to our town opera house, which is rumored to be haunted. So we went and did a paranormal investigation to figure out if it really is haunted. We went with the Midwest Ghost Society. They held the event and they told us about what they do and gave us some information about themselves and the things that they have seen, like stuff like that, what we might see going into this. And so yeah, let's get on with the video. Hi.
Hi.
Can you guys tell us your names?
I'm Ray.
I'm Candy.
And what you guys do?
We sit in the dark and talk to people we can't see.
So I'm here with the Midwest Ghost Society, and we are at the Sandwich Opera House, and we are going to go on a paranormal investigation and see if this place is really haunted. You guys have been here before, right?
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times.
For the last 3 years. What didn't we figure? Yeah.
So what do you guys expect to find anything here that you have found before, or do you expect to find something new?
Well, that's the trick with paranormal investigating, is you're hoping to use the knowledge you've had from the past two investigations to try and pull new information in, especially when it comes to the history of the place. You want to learn as much as you can your first couple times here. That way there you can try and find something different or link something different to happen on your next time. We've been here multiple times, so we don't expect things to happen, because it's not
We're not
asking them to
them
perform.
for 'em.
But we know what works, and we know what works and what won't work when it comes to investigating here, because we've been here so many times.
They also make us work harder.
And they also make us work harder, because they know, hey, you're here again, so we're really going to make it difficult for you. But over the past couple years we've been here, I can honestly say I don't think we've left here without something happening. And I think it's because whoever resides here is comfortable with our team. They know that we're not here to hurt them. We're not.
Well, plus Chris has started investigating with us. She helps.
And it's nice, because then they know that you get to build a rapport with the spirit. So they're going to trust you. You trust them.
You start thinking of them as friends.
It is, and then we're never mean. We're always respectful. We don't
Yes.
provoke, because why would you? If you think about it, a spirit or an entity used to be a human at one point. So why would you treat the spirit bad? I mean, it was always.
It's just you wouldn't go into anybody's house and be disrespectful. So why? I mean, it's the same as going to somebody's house. This is their home.
But I can honestly say this place has had the best REM pod activity I've seen in 9 years. And you'll see.
Knock on wood.
Hopefully, I won't say you'll see. I'll say hopefully you'll get to experience that.
Yeah. I mean, we come in here, we don't expect them to perform. If they don't want to do anything, then, we always get EVPs, maybe not as much as sometimes. It's never the same.
And it's to the point where Candy, before we start the investigation, when we're setting up, she'll walk around and say, hey, we're here again. We're bringing in some people to meet you, to talk with you, to get to know you. That we're there, they know we're not invading their space. We're trying to introduce them to new people. And we're trying to introduce people to the paranormal investigating world the proper way. Because it's not like you see on TV at all. Because TV, everything's edited. Everything, it goes off like boom, boom, boom. This, and where we've been, you could be sitting in a place for 12 hours and absolutely nothing happens. But you don't get mad because it's fun.
We thank them. I
Yep.
mean, we let them know that we appreciate, them interacting with us, and visiting with us.
Well, that's encouraging.
Our investigation.
All right, so the Opera House was originally built in 1878. It opened in 1879 after 6 months of building. It took them about $10,000 to, they had a budget of $10,000 to build the building. They went over by $2,000, so it took them $12,000 to build the building. The part that we're in right now was actually not part of the original building. The original building housed the Opera House on the second floor, and the first floor held the mayor's office, the city clerk's office, the judge's chamber with the courtroom, the marshal's office, the jailer, and the jail cells.
What year is it?
1940 something, I heard. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about what you guys do? Like when you go somewhere, like what you guys do, as in like how you see if it's like haunted or something like that.
How we investigate?
Yeah.
Okay, we go to locations and we have cameras, we have recorders, we have, ghost box, and we'll go into, we'll do sessions of about 25 minutes, and we just go in and we like to walk around the place first to see if, you know, we can feel places where there might be somebody that would want to talk to us. And then we pick locations, and for about 25 minutes we ask questions. We have flashlights set up, the kind that you twist the end and they'll come on, and sometimes we can get them to respond to us by twisting the end of the flashlight on and off, and so we can ask yes and no questions to them. The ghost box scans radio channels quickly, so it doesn't stay on any one channel, and then we can ask questions and hopefully get a verbal response from them. Just whatever we can think of to ask to try and get a response from them.
When we get to a location, we like to research the place before we go. So we like to try and find out the history of the town we're going into. We like to try and find as much history of the location we're going into. That way there we have fuel that we can use to help ignite our investigation. So if we have names of people who lived at the property, if anything sufficient or significant happened in the town, we can know to ask those questions. And like Candy was saying, we use some different equipment. We use a REM pod, which you'll see later tonight how the REM pod actually works. It's really fascinating. But we investigate with a scientific method. So when we go into a place, we're going to assume it's not haunted. I mean, we're going to try, that's what we're there, we're trying to figure out through personal experiences, through interactions with the possible spirits, if there's anything there. So we like to go in with an open mind that anything can happen. We like to investigate scientifically. We like to really try and debunk, which is trying to explain things in a scientific way and find a reason for why they're happening or why it's not happening. So there's a lot of different aspects when it comes to doing a paranormal investigation, and we just try and have fun. And like Candy said, sometimes we're sitting in the dark for 7 hours talking to nobody, but it's something we like to do because you never know what's gonna interact with you. So
Most of the time when you're doing an investigation, your evidence comes afterwards when you go back and review the video and the audio, and you'll be listening to the session, and all of a sudden you'll hear a voice that isn't one of your teammates. It's almost like a whisper. And so you go back and listen, and okay, what are they saying?
you get really excited when something happens. You're like, I know that's not so and so.
Or you hear one that is very clear.
Yep. Which would be like a Class A EVP, which is electronic voice phenomenon.
That it's like you're doing a happy dance around.
It is. You're doing a really big happy dance because there's the EVP that's caught on recorder, and then the noises and voices you hear with your own ears is a disembodied voice, and those are crazy when you hear those with your own ears. You do a happy dance.
No, you
Sometimes.
What'd you say?
Yeah, yeah. Can you move a chair in the green room? Is it a sliding noise?
I heard
Did you hear a
tapping right
sliding
before
noise?
that too.
I did hear a sliding noise.
Did you hear it?
I heard it. It went like,
It sounded like a chair being moved.
yeah.
It did.
Mics that are really, really sensitive where you can hear a pin drop from across the room. So we got those and added them to our collection, our EVP game has like increased.
Did anybody hear the high pitched like ting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said that you go in believing that it's not haunted and try to debunk if it is. Do you believe in ghosts, or do you do this because you don't and you want to prove that they aren't real?
It's a good question. Because I can tell you, I've always been interested in the paranormal from an aspect of the thought of, is there anyone else out there? Are we alone, truly? And if not, where are they? I want to know, like, what's on the other side? Is it just black and white, or is there another spectrum that we can be living in? So, for me, I got into it that way. And it's just something I've always had an interest in, and I've always liked to learn about the history and things regarding that. But I was a skeptic. I'm a believer and I'm a skeptic because I have the feeling that you have to be both. You have to play devil's advocate because you have, especially when it comes to paranormal investigating, you have to make sure the evidence that you're broadcasting online is going to be able to stick through any beating that's going to get thrown at. So I like to do that aspect of it. But I can tell you throughout my 9, 10 years of doing this that I've witnessed and seen things that I can't explain, and I can't explain away with science. So what am I left over with? That's why I do it, because it's constantly surprising me of what I'm finding, what I'm hearing. I've been touched, I've been pushed, I've had my name called, and I can't explain it. And that's what's so fun about it. You got all these personal experiences.
A lot of us coming into it have had experiences before, and do I believe in ghosts? Yes, I do. I mean, there's been things that happen that you can explain any other way, and like I said, when we go into places, a lot of times we'll walk around and you get this feeling, and it's different for everybody. Sometimes it's, like, and it takes your breath away, and depending on how strong the feeling is and stuff. Excuse me. But, you also have to think, is this paranormal, or is it just something, somebody said something, or just a few weeks ago, I had been someplace and heard my name said, and I was in almost the exact same spot 2 weeks ago, and I heard my name again, and I'm thinking, that was too clear. Somebody was playing a trick on me because I'd been talking about it. And I went to review the audio, and it definitely wasn't a person because it's not real clear on my audio. But personally, I heard it loud and clear. So, and it's just, I think you have to believe at least a little in order to sit in the dark for hours and hours and ask questions.
I heard that whoosh. Oh wait, that might have been a car.
I was thinking, was that a car or?
That might have been a car driving through water.
No.
It's still happening.
It was still happening.
I heard.
Like somebody digging through trash.
Yeah.
There's raccoons out there all the
That's
way.
what I was gonna say.
That's a loud raccoon.
That's a pretty loud.
That sounds like it's coming from beneath us on the left-hand side.
What made you guys want to form this group and like do what you guys do in like a group? Group. I can't think of the word.
As a team?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of the places we go to, it's expensive. You know, they charge anywhere from $200 up to $500 for us to investigate overnight. So having a lot of people go keeps the cost down. You don't want to be in places, some of the places by yourself. We do sessions by ourselves occasionally, but most of the time it's with a few people. And also we find that some places, this group of people will get more responses. But then in another area, even in the same place, it's a different group, and it can be some people from the first group.
Yeah,
So-
it's like you want to form a group of like-minded people. So, because whether you're going to gel and you're going to become a family, but you also need to have a group. You have people in your group that are more techie, so they can help you with debunking. You need to have like someone who could be skeptical-minded to help you stay grounded. Of like, well, that could easily be caused by a pipe knocking on the door, like a knocking sound. So and like Candy said, it's fun to investigate as a team compared to going out someplace by yourself. Because that wouldn't be fun walking around a building just you and whatever could be in there.
Yeah.
A, it's not safe because what if something goes wrong? So having a team is, we usually investigate with like 3 to 4 people in a group, and we go out in sessions. So like Candy was saying, it's nice to have that camaraderie, and it's nice to have that safety net in case something happens. But for the most part, it's fun to investigate with your friends who actually turn into your family, and that's why it's nice to actually have that group.
And if the session gets really boring, you can have Donna tell jokes.
Yep.
We just came down and I was talking about how it asked if we should come back down to the basement, and the flashlight turned on.
So.
Oh, and it just turned off.
How many spirits are here? 3. I lied. I thought it said 6 just now. And then the theater part, the opera house part, was used for the fireman's ball. It was used for temperance meetings, services of all sorts, women's suffrage. So Susan B. Anthony came through and spoke on the stage when she was coming through. And anybody that came through on the trains and did the vaudeville acts, they came through and they would perform on the stage. So I don't actually have a list of everybody who's been on the stage because I don't have all that history. And when I go back to look at it, it doesn't always call it the Sandwich Opera House. Sometimes your history books will say, oh, so-and-so was at City Hall today. Well, when they were at City Hall, they were upstairs at City Hall and holding a meeting. So they did have a lot of their meetings up there as well.
Is Jack or John here with us, the World War I veteran?
If you're here, can you make a noise for us? To let us know.
Do you guys, if someone's watching this video and let's say they get inspired, do you recommend them going out and trying to contact any spirits? Either by themselves or with a group?
I would recommend if they're
group.
if they're interested, do it in a group setting. It's
You
fun
can find,
that way.
different places that do haunted tours or do the public investigations like we do here. Yeah, we definitely recommend that you don't go to abandoned places, graveyards.
Don't trespass.
Yeah, don't trespass. We will not go into any place without permission.
And we won't go into a cemetery after dark because they're only open from dusk till dawn. So we don't trespass.
No, they're open from dawn
Dawn
to
to
dusk.
Done.
You're channeling.
I'm channeling the spooky.
Yeah.
I'll turn the tables. What are you hoping to experience here tonight?
I don't really know what might happen. I am hoping to maybe hear or see something that will solidify, because I'm a big believer in it. So
attitude
It is
to
a good
have.
attitude to have. And I'll let you know this, because I told all the groups that come in here, just because something's happening, or just because something's not happening, don't get discouraged. Because it doesn't mean something isn't happening. We have to still go through the evidence review of the audio. So we could pick stuff up after the fact, like Candy said. I think 95% of our evidence comes after the fact of the investigation. We go through everything. The stuff we see with our own eyes that we don't capture on camera, those are all personal experiences. And they're really fun when we have them. So I'm hoping that you get some personal experiences here tonight. So.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Come, and we need to start checking them in the right way.
All right. Sally down here. Aha.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sally.